Right then, Thinking Thursday here. Glorious morning out on the porch with a smoke and coffee. Smoke on the water. It's actually fog. Yeah. Speaking of fog, I fogged the living piss out of this place last night. Yeah, for mosquitoes. Doesn't do any good when you're out on the water though, and there's no breeze. Yeah, I got chased off because they were getting bad. But on the shoreline, on my shore, they're good to go. And if I keep up a regimen of this fogging, every day or every day that it's calm, like it is right now, there's no breeze, and I walk up and down the road and I do the whole neighborhood, essentially, eventually I'll wipe out all the mosquitoes and horse flies and deer flies in the neighborhood, and it'll be bug free. That's what I do up at camp. Takes a while. Usually when I show up at camp, they are so thick you're breathing them in. And I start a fogging regiment, and by the time you're ready to go, you're ready to leave at the end of the weekend, you can literally sit out by the campfire in a tank top and shorts in the middle of the woods and not get bit. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm starting on that here because I'd like to be able to sit out on the dock and sit out by the fire and not have to get all lathered up with mosquito repellent. Just make this place a little bit more like the Garden of Eden. So last night was fun, doing some lip ripping, but I think what I'm going to do from now on, if I get a wild hair up my nose to do that, is I'm going to bring two rods. One will be rigged with the plastic worm, and one will be rigged with a small rubber frog for topwater. I think if I'd have had that along, I'd have done a little better. That, and it allows you to fish into the dark. Yeah, my water on this lake is so dark, it's like coffee because of the tannins. Yeah, there's a swamp on the back lake, around the back lake, and the water from that lake comes through the channel, feeds into this lake, goes through this lake, and goes out a creek at the other end. And all those tannins coming out of that swamp make this water very dark, black. So when it gets nighttime, subsurface activity pretty much shuts down. The water's too dark for the fish to see the bait. So if you're using a top water, like a frog, or a popper, or a rapala minnow, or something like that, the fish is underwater and he's looking up. And since the sky is still bright, or relatively bright, he sees the silhouette of the bait up against the sky, and he can find it, target it, and eat it. Butters out here in one of her favorite places. Once she gets her dollop of goo at 6 o'clock in the morning, she settles down and she comes out here on the porch with Daddy, climbs up in the other therapy chair, and if I were to literally have time to sit here, she would fall asleep and she'd crash out. I showed you that footage of the full moon coming up last night. Oh my God, did that affect her? They say the crazy comes out with the full moon, you know. She was tearing around the house, running up and down the stairs. Stuff was crashing, chewing on shit. She even tried to attack my foot as I walked by her at one point. Started swatting at it. She was in a rambunctious, playful mood last night. The Amazon box that the sheets and the comforter came in, I got it sitting on the floor, open. She jumped in there, started tearing up all the packaging material, flying out of it. She was a shit show last night. It was bad. Just a hellion. You know. Something about that full moon. It affects people and it affects animals. I remember when I was dating a diva. Well, it wasn't dating. Wasting precious minutes of my life on a journey to nowhere that I'll never get back. In a situationship. I would notice changes in patterns and behavior in that creature, and I noticed that she got a little bit more unhinged when there was a full moon. Me? I'm level-headed, same guy, same situation, 24/7. Yeah. I'm above it all. Anyway, why won't this thing light? Tomorrow's payday, thank goodness. Whew. Ran it down to the wire today. Or this pay period, I mean. So Lisa, the park owner, like I said, wants me to paint a shed. I did in the park. I didn't want to do it because I don't want to take the time to do something other than work on the trailer. But if I take a half a day and paint that shed, she'll knock half my rent off, and that'll save me money, and I can justify it. I'm gonna have to haul the garden or the mower tractor down there. The push mower, the string trimmer, I'll have to do the yard. Once a week, I gotta cut grass. We've had a lot of rain, so that'll have to come with me on the little trailer. And then I gotta get something done in the building. The goal is to reface the cabinets and prep and paint, hopefully, the cabinet doors. So, it's got to be done. But that'll be good that I get half my rent knocked off. They're providing the supplies, the paint, the brushes, the rollers, and just do it. I'm going to talk to Ian, my buddy at work today. I'm going to see what he's got going. If he wants to tag along, spend the night on the couch, tag along, that would be huge because he could be working on sanding the cabinet doors while I'm over painting that shed. And we're killing two birds with one stone. That would be big. Mia calls me last night after she gets to the hotel. Yesterday was just a travel day, like I thought it would be. For her to say, oh yeah, we're going down to Iowa for a wedding and coming back the same day? No. How can you even think that? It's a 5-hour trip one way. So she did not have a good day. She's coming down with a cold, so she won't be here. And she had an accident. Not a car accident, but a continence accident. We'll put it that way. Number one, not number two, thank goodness. And she doesn't have anything with her for overnight stuff. So she's at this hotel. And she's got to do some laundry. And she went down to the laundry room to wash her clothes. And there was people in there using the machines, so she couldn't do that. She was frustrated to the point of crying. She was crying on the phone. So I sent her long distance hugs, but but she didn't want to talk. She just checked in, said she was there, told me what happened, and said, I'm going to bed. Poor thing. Maybe this will jog her to make her realize that she shouldn't be, now that she's off that super pill and she's not of her faculties in more ways than one, memory, whatever, she shouldn't be driving for these people anymore. Yeah. I don't know. She just chimed in a few seconds ago, texted me, so we'll see what's going on there. My route day, I opened up the little black box of misery, and 5 calls. I got to put an ice maker in a refrigerator if it needs it. No, yeah, I diagnosed it. It's a GE, and it needs it. And I got to install a refrigerator door. They sent the wrong color. They sent a white door, and I needed a black door. So I got to do that. And the rest of them are all diagnostics. Figure out what's wrong. I don't have a lot of miles today. I made it back from Michigan yesterday. on one tank of gas, so that was good. I didn't run out of fuel. So, but we definitely got to fuel up today. This sucks. I don't think I put enough tobacco in here. So anyway, yeah. So it's a full day. Of course, I'll milk it out, and I'll see if I can get Ian to help me this weekend. He lives about 15, 19 minutes away from me, so I'll just have him come to the lake house here. We'll both jump in the Jeep and drive down to the trailer. Yeah. So hopefully he can do that, because that would be a big help. Other than that, I got not much to report. So I guess we'll keep it short and sweet. I got to get in a rain locker here and get ready. And I'll chime in soon.